What's going on, traders, and welcome to my stream. Today is actually Thursday. We're finishing up the day green. Yesterday I had two back-to-back max losses, and it was very pretty much unsettling. But today came back to the story, and everything worked out great. Yesterday I was down 20K, and today I'm up 25K, and I'm very happy with that. Uh, So obviously you're all excited to be here, and I'm gonna go discuss my P&L for the past 2 days because it's been just a little bit rocky, and that's just fine. We have two P&Ls here that we're gonna discuss. Uh, this was um, this was over here on yesterday, and this is for today. So very simple pattern. As I teach, don't get too down on your losses. Don't get too high on your winners. You can see that I'm pretty excited today because I won, and yesterday I was pretty down because I lost. So you gotta be very mindful of that information. Let's see, we can add all the filters here for my voice here. But primarily what's happening here is let's see, advanced. Sorry about that. So we're gonna move on to try not to get to this trying to get this recording not too high, because it's if it's in the yellow you're not gonna be able to understand. So there we go. So there we go. So we're gonna discuss yesterday AIMD here. AIMD right about here. This is the ticker that I took two back-to-back losses, and I'm gonna go explain how everything happened. So the big ticker that I lost money on was LPSN. This is the big ticker that I lost money. You can see obviously I have yesterday 13K 582. The long was initially long at 145 and long at 150, and then I pretty much just got dumped all the way back down to 125. They had a partnership with Google, so in my mind, I thought that this ticker is going to generate a lot of volume, and sadly, this ticker did not generate a lot of volume. Yesterday's ticker was pretty much you can see so at 9. Um, Over here, LPSN, you can see LPSN was gapping up around. I don't know if you let's see 9:30 9:27 or something. So LPSN was gapping up 60-70%. So I thought LPSN is gonna move out of the open and go break 150. And for a float this big, usually I have a setup. The setup is called a gap up short, and I use this setup as a gap up short to short. A lot of 50, 60, 70 million floats that gap up over 50, 60, 70%. They end up selling off. And in this situation, I thought that we're going to keep going, but we're not in a really hot market. Anything can happen in the markets. And um, in this situation, I was buying it as, I thought we are going to push towards $2 or something because of the Google News. But, for in order to our ticker to go up, another 100%, it needs the float to show up as volume. So in this situation, at this time, 80 million flow was generating like 60 million, 50 million in volume over here. So I thought that at the open, we're going to generate lots of volume and going to spike up. This is, because the day before we had a lot of volume in a 30 milli float. We had outrageous amount of volume, like we had at least 10 million per 1 minute candle at the open. And in this situation, we didn't. We had only 2 million, and that was not enough to, offset the float because it's so big. For since the float is so big, you need lots of volume to go into the ticker to keep going. So in this situation, I took the loss and I moved on, and that was a big loss because you can see. Hold on. LPSN, you can see right here was a big loss. And I was pretty upset about this loss. And what happened was I actually jumped into another ticker. I didn't actually, there's certain things you have to watch yourself out for because you're going to, deal with revenge trading. In this situation, I was upset about LPSN loss. And then I was like, let me make it back real quick. And I saw this uptrending wedge pattern formation here. Right here, we were kind of wedging here. And I thought that we're going to break this 420 and then we're going to keep going. And in this situation, we did not. We had a fake out and then a huge dump. So I lost two times, two max losses in a day. This was a pretty huge loss. So, I took the two losses. I 420 long and then 355 exit. That was a terrible, terrible, terrible trade. And that's the thing. Something like this can happen. A couple things. I didn't trade AIMD very well. I should have actually bought it over here. When it broke pre-market highs, and not chase it as it goes higher over here. So today was actually different. You can see that I have a big gain here, and I actually sized up on this gain really good, and I made back all my loss. The ticker was IMG. You can see that all my. Uh, let's see if I can find all my trades for IMG. Oh, there they are. So initially, most of my longs. There we go. So let's see if we can find. Here we go. So initially I went long around right here, around 40 and 41. Initially I had around right here. Yeah, I had around 200,000 shares. So I was buying around 200,000 shares at around 40 because I looked at the chart, I looked at the setup, and I looked at it was active in the pre-market. So I sized in this ticker at 40. Technically, I should have sized in around 36, 35, 37. But yesterday we had a huge ticker. The ticker that ran yesterday was pretty much SGBX. So, as you can see, SGBX ran from like 20 cents to like a high of 60. So as soon as I saw another ticker that was low priced, that was breaking pre-market high, I sized up hugely. Soon enough, that was the right idea to do. I could have sized in sooner at 35, and then I pretty much rode it all the way to 52, and then I actually sold 52, 49, and 49, and I actually took a second trade here as this ticker was breaking pre-market highs. The third time a charm, bought at 55, sold at 65, then pretty much the ticker rolled over. So I ended up being a 25K winner just on one ticker here. This is an epic epic um epic trade here. So, yesterday I was down, that's fine, and today I'm up. So it's not like a big deal. Try not to get too stubborn. And like for example, I was pretty much my bias in LPSN was completely wrong. And I paid the price. And then after I took the loss, not only, I wanted to make my money back immediately, and then I took another loss. So I took two losses back to back yesterday. So I finished a red day and then AIMD. I was sizing in AIMD over here. I got dumped on right here. That was just not that bright because AIMD we had we watched it all day in the pre-market. I could have just bought it here and then sold it on the bought it here and sold it on the push, but that wasn't the situation. So the lesson of today is and I also had two other tickers that I was long. YHC that I was long at 190. I had a 10% gain. I didn't take it. And then I also had Pally. Pally, I bought it again at 160, and I didn't take the what is it 15% gain. So I could have walked out with green all over the place. CMCT, I also had, I don't know, 50 cents here, but that wasn't a big deal. But the main mover here was IMG. So, technically I was down 20K and now I'm up 25K. That's really how it goes. I try to teach in my course, and the way I discuss with traders is that don't get too low on your losses, don't get too high on your winners. You gotta keep going. You gotta stay the same whether you're losing or winning. And that's kind of it. Obviously, you see losses here, and you can argue the fact that in LPSN, if I shorted it, would have been a great short. And you can argue the fact that AIMD, if I were buying it over here at 320, I would have had a green day. But, LPSN, I was stubborn on a 70 milli float that's going to keep going, which is, actually eight or nine tickers 8 or 9 out of 10 tickers that gap up over 60%. Um, um, that gap up over 60%. Um, they sell off. Most of them do sell off. Um, eight or nine out of 10. Big floats over 60 million that gap up over 60-70%. They all sell off. So I was like, this ticker has news with Google. And then yesterday we had a ticker that pretty much it was a 30 milli float that went up straight up and it was developing lots of volume. So I thought this ticker is going to absorb that volume, and it wasn't the case. The volume didn't came in. It only came in like 2 million per 1 minute candle. It should have been like 10 million at least to keep freaking going. So this was sometimes you're just wrong, and that's just the nature of the game. So it's down 20K and up 22K, up and down. Anyway, that was the story of the day. Hopefully, I'm not gonna have any more PNL swings. If I manage to, not oversize in a ticker and not be overly impulsive and not be overly stubborn. Today I traded well, and tomorrow let's hope I trade well and respect my stop losses. Other than that, hope you guys enjoyed this video and see you all later. Peace out.